Ifunanya loved snakes and she kept them as pets. Kemi Olunloyo shares fresh angle. Controversial commentator Kemi Olunloyo has introduced a new angle to the ongoing conversations surrounding the death of singer Ifunanya Uwangene, suggesting a possible connection between the late artist and snakes. In a video shared online, Olunloyo questioned how two cobras allegedly ended up in the singer's apartment, describing the circumstances surrounding the incident as unusual and unresolved. She argued that while snake bites are not treated as crime under Nigerian law, the situation deserves both deeper scrutiny from both spiritual and investigative perspectives. Olunloyo further referenced reports of another snake allegedly being found in the engine of the ambulance conveying Ifunanya's body, describing the coincidence as troubling. Drawing from cultural, religious, and mythological contexts, she claimed snakes are often linked to spirituality and music, raising questions about whether the singer had any form of association with them, including possibly keeping them as pets. She stressed that her claims were speculative and illustrative, noting that no definitive conclusions could be drawn. Olunloyo maintained that the circumstances of Ifunanya's death remain strange and unresolved, while offering prayers for her soul to rest in peace. She said, "I'm Kemi Olunloyo, Dr. Kemi. It is February 7th, 2026. The death of Ifunanya, the singer from The Voice, is a very strange death. When she was beaten, I spoke about it on Twitter, X. I tweeted what I felt. I looked at it in two ways, the spiritual way and the investigative journalism way. When a snake bites somebody, it is not a crime, so the police is not going to come out. But in Nigeria, some of these things could have been spiritual and have spiritual and criminal tones to it. How did two large cobras end up in the apartment of a singer? The first thing that goes on social media is the toilet. It came from the Abuja sewers. Two cobras all the way in the sewers and came out, somehow found their way around her apartment and decided to come and bite her. Then we had all the stories about the spirituality issues when they were transporting her body to Enugu. The ambulance broke down only to find a snake in the engine. There's a lot of things you guys don't understand. I've lived in the Western world and I've lived in Africa, and I've lived in a family where they put snake in my son's room. Yes, my mother put a snake in my son's room, and I have photos and told my story on Facebook. Snakes are spiritual animals. They have a very, very, very bad PR from the Bible days, because we know that the snake was the one talking to Eve in the Garden of Eden and caused Eve to sin, and that sin followed the rest of us throughout our lives. When the snake was punished by God and sent out of the garden, I guess that's when the snake went flat on the ground and became a crawling thing. However, anytime we see snakes, we run. Anytime we feel there's a snake around crawling, we run. We are always scared of snakes, all the time. For me personally, looking at it from a spiritual evangelism angle, something was very wrong. I looked at it from an investigative journalism angle. Nigerian society is not doing anything about Ifunanya's snake bites. Something was very weird to me and off balance. That WhatsApp message she sent her friend, it was kind of really suspicious. I don't know. Like, how do you get bitten by a snake and you just write that WhatsApp message? It was like, I just got bitten by a snake. I'm going to the hospital immediately. I'll talk to you later. Like, so casual. Does she know she was actually going to die, or does she worship snakes? These are angles that people will say, okay, let me start that again. You don't know about spirituality. You need to learn about it. Did this girl have some kind of association with snakes? I showed you the video that I made from AI. That is not a real video. She did not see anything. I put that as a prompt on AI to illustrate some people who are actually worshipping snakes, and we don't know. In the business called show business, there are a lot of sacrifices going on. There's a lot of people who wants to blow, who want to be big. Some of them came out of all this American Idol, Canadian Idol, The Voice, all these shows, Big Brother Niger, and they blow, but not big enough, and they want to blow more, so they turn to juju and other things. I'm not saying that Ifunanya did juju, but could she have a relationship with snakes? Did she have snake pets? Nobody knows. Did she bring those snakes into the house? But the fact that another snake was found in the engine of the ambulance, something is very, very wrong. A body was taken away from the house and was taken to a morgue, and now an ambulance comes and there's another snake, and the snake stopped the ambulance from continuing the trip. You know how scary that is? Snakes are attracted to snakes. How long did they know that one snake was in the engine of the car? A lot of reports said the snake was underneath the car. It was actually in the engine and stopped the engine from working. Another thing you need to think about here is, the spirit of Medusa. If you don't know who Medusa is, Google her. She's a mythological character that carried a lot of snakes on her head. The snakes lived in her hair. The snakes were practically her hair. You need to go read about Medusa. There's some real life Medusas out there. That is why I used Medusa to illustrate what I wanted to say about her. If when I go back to your music assignment, you are not done yet, snakes love music. If you go to India, you see some people, they call them snake charmers. Those people will kneel down on the ground and be blowing a flute. They will blow these flutes and the snake will be dancing. The snake will bring their head up, and it is usually a cobra, the kind of snake they found in Ifunanya's apartment. Nigerians, wake up. The whole world is backed by spirituality. When I see Indians, Google these things. They are in your expensive phones. Snake charmer. Those cobras will come slither, and then they stand with their head up and they'll be dancing. They do this stuff in India. They love music, snakes. And if Naya was music, I have a reason to believe that she was associated with snakes. But we may never know. May she rest in peace. I am Dr. Kemi Olunloyo. This is an AI story visualizing what could be beyond the spiritual realm. Well, what are your opinions on this? Make sure to leave them in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications so you can be notified when we upload daily content here on this channel, and make sure to share this video with your family and friends so that they know what is going on and they can give their own opinions on this.